A gentleman wanted me to do a video on jetting for your carb. Now, jetting is a rather large, how can I say, explanation. So, and it's Saturday night. I'm not in a real good mood, so if anyone's got a great comment on how I do this, please just keep it to yourself, because I really don't want to hear it. As far as tomorrow during the Super Bowl, I believe the Saints are playing the Steelers. And since I'm from Washington and the Steelers stole the Super Bowl from my Seahawks, I hope that the New Orleans Saints cheat on every down, and I hope they cheat in front of every official, and I hope they bought off every official, and they win. So, from me and the Seahawks and Dick Cheney, fuck the Steelers. That about covers that. Okay, now let's get back to the thing at hand. I'm going to show you how I do it, and I'll show you how it can be done. There are many ways to do this on the net. There are many online tutorials how to do it. I will explain the process as I know it, and as I use it on my deal, and that's all I know. Okay. What we have here is a 30mm carb. First of all, we'll get to know what we're using. Let me move this chair here. This is a 28mm carb, and this is 30mm. Now, what's the difference? The difference is, if you look down the bore of the intake here, it is approximately 28mm in diameter. Now, if we get over to this 30mm, it has a little bit different body, but let's turn it up on its head, and you'll notice that compared to the inside of the top of this carburetor and the inside of the top of this carburetor, you can see where it's thinner up here. They've kept the floor the same. As we continue, I was just rudely interrupted. For all you gentlemen out there that have a Russian wife, brother, I feel for you. Okay. Now, I just explained how one has 28mm and the other on the aperture, if you'll measure it, has 30mm. Now, there are two parts of the carburetor which concern us. And the gentleman who was asking me about jetting, I didn't really know that much about carburetors. I was afraid of them. I didn't want to mess with them. I just kind of changed the air filter, and that was about it. Anyway, what we have is a slow jet or a pilot jet. And this covers idle to about a quarter throttle. And then we have the main jet, which are these right here. And these cover 1/4 to full throttle. Now, what the carburetor does is, like I said before, it mixes gas, fuel, and air but it makes the fuel combustible, because gas does not just ignite in its it doesn't vaporize and ignite the oil. Yeah, I guess it does. Anyway, in my book here, and this is a Bible, my Bible, Two-Stroke Tuning by Graham Bell. This is about $60, but I'll tell you what, it's an old book, but all of everything in it pertains to how a carburetor and how all aspects of two-stroke work. It may not have the latest up-to-date everything, but it has all the things like your engine ratio, mixing fuel to air, for starting, idling, low speed, and heavy load running is 12 to 14 to 1. For fuel to, or air to fuel. So, what I do is this. First thing what you want to do if you get a bigger carburetor, or any carburetor, okay? Take the two jets out and write down what they are. This is going to be a two-part series because I'm rambling and I'm not in a great mood, and I'm just going to take my time. Yeah, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. So, take your carb, whatever carb it is, unless it's stock, and you'll probably know from the manual what it is. Take your, this right here is, of course I can't get it to set any way I want, but this is the bottom cap right here. Now on the old style carbs they didn't have these. You had to take off the float bowl right here to get to them. The reason that these easy access places were made is for motocross, when between races, or they had to be changed quickly. And you can change your main jet quickly. And all you need is a nice little Mikuni tool. It says Mikuni right there. Yeah, right there. And that has just a certain jet for it. And you take it and you stick it in here and you unscrew it. Or you get the deluxe Mikuni screwdriver with the jet drive. That's if you really want to show off to all your friends. And then if you're really super deluxe, you get the Mikuni all-in-one tool. Now this bitch has got a 17, a 10, a float level, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I don't know what it's for because they don't give you any instructions. Thank you to the Japanese. So take your jet out. All the jets are numbered. I'm going to see if I can do this. I wish I had better lighting. But if I go very, very closely, like this jet says AK-125. This other jet right here says 138. Now 138 is the one it usually comes with. But if you, what I found on the Okos, if you get like a 140, that's a bigger size jet. And the jet, bigger size, what I mean is the aperture hole right there. God, that's a good camera. Just don't look at my fingers. I'm a painter. Give me a break. Anyway, you can see the hole right there. All right, I'm gonna end this and go to part 2.